Are you still considering a listing before year end on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange?
Yes, we've lined ourselves up for that. We've completed our competent persons report that was published on the 30th of September. So we are basically getting ourselves ready to list. There's a couple of things that we need to get sorted out, specifically around some of our convertible notes that we have, that we're busy refinancing. We have to really have a plan in place before we can take that step. But we're basically getting ourselves ready for a listing, and we should be ready before end of November.
And you'll still keep your listings on the ASX, which is your primary listing, is it?
Yes, I mean our ASX is, that's also the biggest volume, and also on AIM, the volumes on AIM is improved quite dramatically. But there's definite interest out of South Africa. Village Main Reef, as you know, has come in earlier this year. They now own 16% of our company, and planning to increase that as well. So, there's a requirement for them to hold their stock in South Africa. So, just from that perspective, it's important for us that we have a listing here. And there's other institutions in South Africa that's also keen to get on board, and that would be an opportunity for them to hold stock in South Africa.
And you haven't got a date yet for that? That's still got to come up, but you expect it to be before year end?
Yes.
You seem to have secured a very good BE partner in the Sishen Iron Ore Community, CIOC.
Community Development Trust, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a major achievement. Middle of last year, we signed up the CIOC, as we call them, CIOC CDT. Connie Malusi, the chairman of the trust. They're a 3% owner of Kumba Iron Ore, and with the dividends that they receive, they, in the arrangement, have the ability to invest into other companies, and they have done so. And I think we were very privileged to get them on board. It's a broad-based Black Economic Empowerment group, and getting a guy like Connie and his team on board has been a really major achievement for the company. They've invested 140 million directly into the business. We essentially used that to build our new Penumbra mine. So that's been a major achievement for the company, and I think bodes well for us.
And what percentage does that give them, that 140 million?
They own, that was 140 cash and another 75 in a loan, so it's about 215, the total investment. That gave them 26% of the South African assets. I think the challenge that we have this is what we call the elephant in the room, is our convertible notes. We're sitting with $16 million of convertible notes that need to be refinanced. They mature now in November and in February next year, and we're quite advanced now talking to parties to come in to take over those notes, and that will also expand our investor base, make it more institutional, which is critical for us. I mean, currently we have a very strong retail following, mainly out of Australia and also in London. So it's really, getting these parties on board, but also deal with this, what we call the overhang in the market. And I think that's really caused us that the share price hasn't reflected really the underlying value of the business. I mean, if you look at our recent published competent persons report by Venman Deloitte, you'll see our underlying value is way in excess of $100 million. We're now trading at around $20 million. So there's a big disconnect. But one thing we realize is that this overhang is, withholding people from really participating, and we need to deal with it, and we're busy dealing with it.
And are you confident that you will get the conversion?
Yes, I think there's a number of parties that we're working with now, and I believe that we'll put something out to the market before the end of November as to how we're going to deal with it. We've got an upcoming AGM in Perth on the 21st of November, so we've got to get something out to the market before then, just to inform them where we're at. But we're making good progress. And
who is your biggest single shareholder?
Village Main Reef.
Village Main Reef now,
they hold
16%.
They hold 16%, yes. It's essentially a big retail holding, but we need a bigger institutionalized shareholding on the stock. So it's critical for us to get that. We we see ourselves as an emerging mid-tier coal miner. We put
Yes.
our first mine in production in May 2010. We then bought into Mashala Resources. We then put a new open pit in production in Ferreira. That gave us the entry into the export market. And then last year, December, we started our third mine.
It's amazing.
That's a total new development, underground development. Supplying the domestic markets, our license to export, gives us that opportunity, supplying the local market, but at the same time also supplying the export market.
You have a relationship with EDF.
EDF Trading, it's a French company. They've got power stations in all of Europe and even in Asia. They're also a trader. So we did a deal with them. They invested in the company, and they basically are the offtake partners for our export coal, all our RB1 coal.